Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a small town with a population barely big enough to fill the Los Angeles Coliseum, is now at the center of a salacious sex scandal. A 24-year-old beautiful substitute teacher at this high school admits to hooking up with one of the students, having sex with him more than 100 times.
Mary Beth Haglin is a pretty teacher who always wanted to instruct children. But within just months of achieving her goal, Mary Beth threw it all away by giving one student some very private lessons.
How many times did you have sex with the student?
It was, I can't even count, perhaps a few hundred times.
Now she's telling her side of the story to Crime Watch Daily. The 24-year-old had a bright future. With a degree in English and Spanish, she was awarded the prestigious Fulbright Scholarship. After graduating, Mary Beth became a substitute teacher.
And when you started to teach, how did that make you feel?
I enjoyed it so much. With subbing, it's a little bit different because you never know what kind of situation you're getting into, especially if it's day-to-day subbing.
The situation Mary Beth got herself into, a taboo relationship with the 17-year-old high school student.
How did you meet the student?
This particular student was in my class when I was a student teacher. He was a good student, and I always like to reconnect with my better students.
But to say Mary Beth reconnected was an understatement. The young teacher who rotated among different schools one day found herself back at the place where she and the student first met.
He saw me again at Washington High School subbing one day. He came in to say hi, and I welcomed that.
But that chat in the classroom quickly turned from innocent to indecent. And more than that, downright illegal.
He contacted me on Facebook. He was very persistent in his contact. He kept asking me to go to coffee or to go to lunch or just, hi, how are you? Why won't you answer me?
Mary Beth claims that at the time she was in an abusive relationship with her then boyfriend. One night, after what she calls a particularly horrible episode with her ex, she reached out for comfort from her soon-to-be teenage lover.
When was the first time you had sexual contact with the student?
We had gone to a corn maze in a neighboring town, and we went to Beaver Park, which was kind of our hangout spot. We sat in his parked car, and he started kissing me, and he started touching me.
After their first encounter, 24-year-old Mary Beth says she and her student are confronted by police as they sat in the car.
Did it ever cross your mind, wow, oh my gosh, I just royally screwed myself?
Well, to be honest, I didn't have much time to think that because the police actually interrupted us. They thought that I was being raped. I just said, no, this was consensual, because it was.
Right after the police incident, the forbidden relationship heated up even more. Mary Beth and her teen dream boy rendezvousing for dinner in nearby towns, places they wouldn't be recognized, hooking up at his mom's house when she wasn't home, and of course at Beaver Park in their mobile love shack, the boy's car.
Most teachers want to be positive role models for their students. It's one of the reasons why they get into the profession of teaching. But your vehicle to be that positive role model and shape this kid was to have sex with him?
You have to remember that when this was all happening, I didn't see him as a student. I saw this as a real relationship.
And like many couples, they had pet names for each other.
He would call me his Empress. He would call me his lobster, because lobsters mate for life.
So you called him Baby Kicks, and he called you his Empress?
Yes.
The saucy sub sent sexy selfies to her underage lover. But the romance began to unravel when Mary Beth says he betrayed her and shared the racy snaps with his friends.
I sent him a lot, and he saved all of them. And then he shared them with all of his friends, and they posted them on Twitter. Mark my words, when this student turns 18, I will be prosecuting for sharing all of those nude photos.
The provocative photos spread like wildfire. Their secret relationship exposed. Mary Beth says the kids at school were relentless.
They would interrupt class to ask about it.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Interrupt class and say what?
Come on, Miss Haglin, we know that this is the student.
The dangerous liaison was spiraling out of control. Mary Beth claimed she wanted to end it, but was terrified that her young lover would retaliate and tell the school principal. Eventually, word about her extracurricular activities got back to school administrators, but she says they ignored the rumors, and so she continued to carry on her relationship with the high school boy.
And that may be true, but you're not blaming the school for your having sex with the student.
Oh, certainly not.
But with her photos flooding social media, the school finally took action.
How did you finally get busted?
The administration called me down into their office. They started to interrogate me, and by the end, the principal said, well, in light of everything, we are going to ask you to pack up everything, any personal items that you have upstairs, and please leave.
Mary Beth was fired from her job, but continued to substitute teach in other school districts. Allegedly, because of a miscommunication, she was not removed from the available teacher list, an oversight Mary Beth disputes.
It was not a miscommunication that I was still in the system. Washington high school staff did not let the substitute system know why I should not be in the system.
And the district never reported her to authorities or pressed criminal charges. Crime Watch Daily contacted the school for a comment, but they never returned our calls.
He said, don't worry, we're gonna get through this. Whether we have to leave town and go to Minnesota or New York or heck, even another country.
And what's racing through your mind?
I'm busted.
Up next, the torrid affair. Mary Beth comes face to face with the law. And you'll never guess where the former teacher is working.
Hey, come here.
What's up?
Or should we talk to you as Bambi? Which one?
Let me
Bambi or Mary Beth?
Crime Watch Daily tracks her down and finds a shocking surprise.